Some games don't just kill time, they completely erase it. We have all been there. You sit down on a Friday evening telling yourself you're just going to play for 20 minutes to clear a checkpoint or organize your inventory. You get comfortable, you put your headset on, and you start playing. Then you blink, and when you look at the window, you realize the sun is coming up and birds are chirping. It is a terrifying but weirdly satisfying feeling. These are the worlds that suck you in and refuse to let go, trapping you in a loop of exploration, progression, and just one more turn. We are talking about the experiences that don't just ask for your attention, they demand your entire life for weeks at a time. Here are the top 10 games that will steal hundreds of hours of your life, and the best part is you won't even regret it. Number 10, Metro Exodus is the definition of a slow burn that turns into a complete obsession. Unlike the previous games in the series, which were tight, linear hallway shooters, Exodus opens the doors to massive non-linear sandboxes. You start as Artyom, leaving the safety of the underground tunnels for the first time, and what begins as a simple mission turns into a cross-country odyssey aboard a steam train called the Aurora. The reason this steals your time isn't just the shooting, it is the suffocating, immersive atmosphere. You don't just run and gun here, you spend hours managing the tiny details. You have to manually wipe mud off your gas mask just to see. You have to pump up the pressure on your pneumatic rifle to keep it lethal. You have to scavenge for scraps in a frozen wasteland because every bullet counts. Every cabin you explore feels like a gamble. One moment you are sneaking through a swamp filled with mutants, and the next you are baking under a desert sun fighting bandits in a Mad Max-style wasteland. The game refuses to rush you, and that is the trap. You sink so deep into the survival mechanics and the day-night cycle that hours dissolve before you even reach the next safe house. You find yourself sitting by a fire on the train, listening to your crew play guitar, and realizing you have spent 40 minutes just existing in this world. Number 9, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 throws fantasy out the window for raw, brutal history. If you're tired of magic spells and chosen ones, this is the game that traps you with realism. It drops you into medieval Bohemia during a time of civil war, and there are no dragons here to save you. You are playing as Henry, a blacksmith's son, and the immersion here is borderline dangerous for your real-life schedule. The reason this game eats hours is that nothing is given to you for free. You don't just press a button to win, you have to learn everything. The combat is heavy and tactical, forcing you to read your opponent's movement and manage your stamina in real time. But the real-time sink is the world itself. It simulates a living, breathing society. You will wander into a village to buy bread and end up in a 3-hour detour helping peasants, learning how to read, or getting thrown in jail for a crime you didn't commit because you weren't carrying a torch at night. The systems are incredibly deep. You have to bathe to keep your charisma up. You have to eat and sleep. Because the game doesn't hold your hand, you have to actually pay attention to every dialogue line and map marker. That intense focus makes the real world fade away completely until you realize you have spent an entire weekend just learning how to brew potions. Number 8, Detroit Become Human grabs your attention not with guns, but with the crippling anxiety of consequences. This is a narrative game that plays out like a high-budget sci-fi thriller. You play as 3 androids in a future where machines are waking up and demanding rights, and every single decision you make ripples out into the story. What makes this addictive, and what pumps up the runtime, is the elaborate flow chart system. You finish a tense hostage negotiation, and immediately the game shows you a chart of all the paths you missed. You see that there were 5 other outcomes, and your brain immediately wants to go back and see them. This creates a loop where you aren't just playing a story, you are constantly stress testing it. You want to see what happens if you lie instead of tell the truth. You want to see what happens if you fail a quick-time event on purpose. You play scenarios over and over again, obsessed with perfecting a timeline that can go wrong in 1,000 different ways. It is the fear of getting a character killed permanently that keeps you glued to the screen, agonizing over dialogue choices for minutes at a time. Number 7, Black Myth Wukong is the new heavyweight champion of perfectionism and visual spectacle. You play as the Destined One, and right from the start, the Chinese folklore art style pulls you in with some of the best graphics we have ever seen. But what keeps you glued to the screen for dozens of hours is the rhythm of the combat. It takes notes from the hardest games in the genre, but adds a speed and fluidity that feels incredible to master. You tell yourself you will stop after beating this one boss, but then you die, and you try again and again. The combat is so satisfying that losing doesn't feel like a waste of time, it feels like practice. You have to memorize attack patterns, manage your cooldowns, and use your transformation spells at the exact perfect second. There's a specific feeling of flow state you get in this game where the rest of the world disappears and it is just you and the enemy. Before you know it, you have spent an entire Saturday mastering a single transformation or trying to find every secret boss hidden behind waterfalls and invisible walls. It demands mastery, and mastery takes time. Number 6, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is basically an engineering simulator disguised as an adventure game. Nintendo took the open-world formula from Breath of the Wild and decided to break the laws of physics. You start out intending to save the princess, but 5 hours later, you are on the other side of the map trying to build a fighter jet out of wooden planks and fans. The new fuse and ultra hand abilities broke the internet for a reason. They destroyed the concept of a linear path. The world is layered vertically. You have the sky islands above, the surface of Hyrule in the middle, and the terrifying pitch-black depths underground. This triples the exploration area. You see a mountain, you climb it. You see a cave, you explore it. You get an idea for a giant robot that breathes fire, you spend 3 hours trying to build it. The game never tells you no. That freedom is the ultimate distraction. You will set a waypoint for a main quest, get distracted by a Korok who needs help, then see a falling star, then find a shrine, and suddenly it is 4 a.m. and you are nowhere near the quest you started 6 hours ago. Number 5. Persona 5 Royal is the heavyweight champion of sheer length. This isn't a game you beat in a weekend. It is a lifestyle you adopt for a month or two. You are balancing the life of a Tokyo high school student with the secret life of a supernatural thief who steals corrupted hearts. The hook that keeps you playing for over 100 hours is the calendar system. You play through a full school year, day by day. You have a limited number of time slots to finish tasks, hang out with friends to build relationships, study for exams, and clear massive dungeons. This creates a just one more day loop that is impossible to break. You constantly feel the pressure to optimize your time. You want to max out your charm stats, you want to see the next rank of a romance story, and the music is so catchy you never want to turn it off. The story twists and turns, introducing new characters and stakes just when you think it is winding down. Suddenly, your save file says 120 hours and you are not even close to the true ending. It becomes a part of your daily routine. Number 4. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is dangerous because the side content is actually better than the main quest in most other games. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a professional monster hunter looking for his adopted daughter, but good luck actually finding her when there is so much else to do. You will constantly get sidetracked by random villagers asking for help, and these aren't simple fetch quests. A simple contract to kill a ghost in a well turns into a tragic family drama with 3 different endings. A quest to find a missing wife turns into one of the best written storylines in gaming history involving the Bloody Baron. You plan to play for an hour, but you end up getting invested in a card game called Gwent, searching every tavern in the world for rare cards. The map is covered in question marks, especially in the Skellige Isles, and the completionist in you will want to uncover every single one. The world feels so lived in, and the writing is so sharp that leaving it feels like walking out on a good movie halfway through. You just have to see what is over the next hill. Number 3. Skyrim is the ultimate comfort food of gaming. There's a reason people are still buying this game more than 10 years after it came out. The second you step out of that first cave and see the mountains stretching out, the game has already won. You can do literally anything. You can ignore the main story about dragons entirely and just become a blacksmith, or a master thief, or a vampire lord, or a simple hunter. The game doesn't care what you do, and that lack of pressure makes it so easy to lose an entire weekend. You boot it up just to check something or try a new mod, and 3 hours later you're sneaking through a glowing blue dwarven ruin you have cleared 5 times before just because it feels like home. The progression systems are infinite. You can level up every skill, find every shout, and explore every cave. And once you add mods to the mix, the game becomes endless. You don't play Skyrim to beat it, you play Skyrim to live in it. Number 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a western that moves at its own deliberate, slow pace, and you have to surrender to it. Rockstar built a world that is obsessed with detail. You play as Arthur Morgan, a high-ranking member of a gang on the run, and the game forces you to slow down and appreciate the life of an outlaw. You have to clean your guns individually. You have to feed and brush your horse to bond with it. You have to brew your coffee at the campfire. It sounds tedious on paper, but in practice, it creates a trance-like state where you just exist in the American frontier. You will ride out to do a mission and get distracted by a storm rolling over the plains, lighting up the sky. You might stop to study a rare animal for your journal, or help a stranger who has been bitten by a snake on the side of the road. It is widely considered one of the best written stories in gaming history, but the real magic is how it makes doing absolutely nothing feel meaningful. You can spend hours playing poker in the camp or fishing by the river, and it never feels like wasted time. Number 1. Baldur's Gate 3 is the game that ruined everyone's sleep schedule recently. This is Dungeons and Dragons brought to life with a budget that makes Hollywood movies look small. The sheer number of choices here is paralyzing in the best way possible. You wake up with a parasite in your brain, and from there, the story branches in directions you cannot predict. You can talk your way out of impossible boss fights. You can accidentally blow up entire towns because you clicked the wrong button. You can romance a vampire, a warrior, or even a bear. Every time you think you understand the limits of the game, it throws something new at you. The narrative branches are so complex that you and your friend could play the exact same mission and have entirely different experiences. You will stay up until 4 a.m. just staring at the screen, debating whether to trust a mind-reading squid or make a deal with a devil. And because the game supports multiplayer, you can lose days laughing at the chaos you and your friends create. It is deep, it is tactical, and it is easily the biggest time thief of the generation. These are the games that don't respect your bedtime, and honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. The memories you make in these worlds are worth every second of sleep you lose. If you have played any of these, check your playtime right now on your console or PC and let us know the damage in the comments. Which game has the highest number? I bet it's embarrassing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.